Hello everybody, welcome to today's show. I'm your host, Caleb Lumen.
And I'm Beau Norman.
And over the last few weeks, there's been some stories going around about different missions to Mars. So today, we are going to share some different facts about Mars to help you better understand what is going on.
The planet Mars was discovered in the year 1610 by a guy named Galileo Galilei. And since then, we have learned a lot about Mars.
What is something we have learned about Mars, Beau?
Well, Caleb, Mars is one of the few planets that can be seen from Earth without a telescope. So it has been called a planet for a long time before Galileo. The term planet means wandering star. It looks like a star, but it doesn't move like the other stars.
That's really interesting. I've heard it called the red planet, but is it actually red?
Well, kind of. Most of Mars is made of iron, and when iron rusts, it turns red-orange. You can see it as a red-orange in the sky at night, too. That is why the ancient Greeks and the Romans called it Mars, because of the god of war.
Like how Jupiter and Venus are named after gods.
Exactly. And do you know where Mars is in the solar system?
Actually, I do, and it's very easy. There's this phrase that I say, "My very eager mother just served us nachos." Or Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Saturn, Jupiter, Uranus, and Neptune.
And don't forget Pluto.
Yeah, the king of the Kuiper Belt, but not actually a planet.
Of course.
Because Mars is farther away from the sun than Earth, the sun appears to be smaller there. The sun on Mars is only half as big as it looks on Earth.
A fun fact about Mars is that the sky during the daytime looks pinkish red, but when the sun sets, it turns blue, the opposite of Earth's sky.
Mars is very special in the solar system. Not only is it the closest to Earth, but it's also a solid planet, very close to the same size as Earth. It has thin methane, atmosphere for a safer landing, but also ice close to the surface. This provides oxygen for astronauts to breathe and hydrogen for more rocket fuel.
Because ice is frozen water, or
that is a little bright, but not the brightest. Being a wandering star, it is in a different place each night, so it can be hard to find if you do not know where to look. My best tip is to get an app that will tell you the different stars, where the different stars are, and even some satellites. There are lots of apps to choose from, so get one that works best for you.
Wow, that is so cool. No need for star charts.
Another stargazing tip is to only use red-colored flashlights.
And why is that?
Well, Beau, the red flashlight doesn't affect your night vision. When your eyes adjust to being in low light, you may still need some light in order to see where you're walking. The red lights give you enough light that you can see, but doesn't take your eyes out of low light mode.
Like when someone shines a light on you and you weren't expecting it?
Exactly. Just like that, the red lights are available in some online retailers and specialty shops.
And the last best tip for stargazing is to see if you have any friends that have telescopes and binoculars to view planets before buying one first. There are some really great telescopes and binoculars out there, but they're only worth it if you know how to use them. Visit a local astronomy club, visit a website like Shreveport-Bossier Astronomy Society at shreveportastronomy.com. It is a great resource for people wanting to get into the hobby or just curious for more information about the planets.
The Shreveport-Bossier Astronomy Society also has a Facebook page. You can find it at facebook.com/SB Astronomical Society.
Well, talking about outer space, it sure made me hungry. Do you have any plans for dinner, Caleb?
Plans for dinner? I haven't given it much thought yet, but however, Nathaniel has, and he is going to be showing us how to make Louisiana-style shrimp alfredo. Let's check it out.
Hi, my name is Nathaniel Williams, and I just wanted to show y'all how to make a shrimp alfredo Louisiana style, and it's pretty easy, pretty simple to make. I already have the water boiling to get ready for the shrimp and pasta, and that'll take about 2 to 3 minutes. It won't take that long. So you want to get that started first, and then I'll leave the recipe and things that you'll need to do right here so y'all can see what to do. So after your water gets to boiling, you want to make your sauce. So you just want to take your sauce and put it in the pan, and then put your you can either use Tony Stashries or Slap Your Mama. Either one will work. It doesn't matter. You can find that at Academy, Walmart, anything like that, at any grocery store. And then you'll want to drain your pasta and your shrimp, and then you'll put that all together in the medium-sized pot, and then after that you'll just put it on a plate, and then you'll be good to go. So I'm gonna take y'all over to the to put the shrimp in and the pasta in. So once your shrimp pan gets to a boil, what you want to do is take your shrimp and just pour it in the pot, and then after that you just want to take your salt and just kind of drizzle it around there. Just kind of evenly distribute the salt. Alright, so now for your sauce, what you want to do is get the pan kind of warm, and then you want to take your sauce, just pour it in the pan like so. Just kind of evenly, just kind of spread it out so it'll get good and hot. Then you want to take your Tony Stashries or Slacker Mullet, either one that you can get from the grocery store. You can just kind of evenly spread it around. I mean, you can use however much you want, but I mean, it's all preference. So for your pasta, once your pasta water is boiling, you just want to take your pasta, just set it right in there, and just let it sit, and you want to stir it about every minute or so, minute to 2 minutes, around there, so it won't stick to the bottom. So once your shrimp and pasta comes to boil, what you want to do is drain it, and then you want to put the shrimp and the sauce in the bigger pot, and then mix it all together, and then you'll be ready to plate. Alright, after you get done stirring it all together with the shrimp and the pasta, all you have to do is plate now. So you just want to take a little scoop of the shrimp and the pasta. Just take it. It's going to be a little hot, but it's going to be awesome. Then after that, it's ready to eat. So that is it for today, and this is my shrimp alfredo with Louisiana style.
Man, that sure looks delicious. I know what I'm making tonight.
I'm so glad that Nathaniel could help us out with making our dinner plans for tonight. Hey, Beau, did you ever like art classes as a kid?
I didn't really enjoy drawing that much, but I really enjoyed painting.
Well, did you know that the history of watercolor is partially responsible for the rise of art classes in American public schools?
I thought that it started in China around 4000 BC. What does it have to do with American public schools?
Well, it did start in China, Beau, as a decorative medium. The story really starts when watercolor came to Western artists in the late 1400s. Artists had to formulate, prepare, and grind their own watercolor paint and tended to keep their secret recipes and methods to themselves.
And in the 18th century, the first paint manufacturers set up shop in major European cities. They not only provided basic pigments, resins, and oils, but found a market for ready-made color paste and other artist equipment. A famous example is a herbal extract shop in Paris that prepared the colors for Jean-Baptiste Chardin when the artist's failing eyesight prohibited him from making his own.
Artist watercolor paints came directly from the colormen in dry clumps that had been cut off clay-like slabs of prepared watercolor paint. The paints were hard. Artists would have to break up the clump into usable bits and grind them into water.
And the usual method of preparing to paint included rubbing up your colors with water on a stone or ceramic dish. Grinding your paint in water was a tedious but necessary step repeated every time you set up to paint. Eventually, artistic entrepreneurs began preparing ready-made paint for artists.
After setting up shop in 1766, William Reeves began selling the first water-soluble dry cake watercolors. By 1780, a bit of honey was added to the formula to make the paint pliable for manufacturing in various ways.
And the first hard but brush-soluble cakes were fancily embossed with crests and heraldic figures. Mr. Reeves even was given an award for the manufacture of watercolor improved in 1781 for his moist paint watercolors.
By the mid to late 1830s, inexpensive painting sets with little porcelain pans of moist watercolors were introduced to the public to compete with the harder pressed cakes.
And Winsor Newton introduced the glycerin softened formula moist cakes in 1835. The public was pleased. Amateur artists, Sunday painters, and ladies being cultured and finishing school rejoiced in easy accessibility to quality painter supplies. What could be better?
American John Goff Rand lived from 1801 to 1873. He patented the first collapsible metal tube for artist oil paint on September 11, 1841. He traded off his European patent for the tubes to appease creditors.
And by 1846, Winsor & Newton in the UK modified the original moist cake formula and created a semi-liquid formula for metal tubes. They improved upon Rand's original tube design and ran with it. Everyone has been following ever since.
By the 1990s, through mergers and acquisitions, several art supply manufacturers are now owned by the German paint company A.B. Wilhelm Becker.
The chemical and dye makers during the Industrial Revolution in Britain made great strides in producing brighter and more permanent colors for the textile trades. These discoveries readily carried over to the fine arts.
By the late 18th and early 19th century, newly developed intense colors inspired the pre-Raphaelites, while the new tube paints allowed the Impressionists to work readily in open air to capture natural light and color.
And German-American Louis Prong lived in the years 1824 to 1909. He is the reason art education survives in American schools. He wrote the curriculum and textbooks and then provided training for the first batch of American art teachers.
In 1856, Mr. Prong contracted with the American Crayon Company to manufacture his non-toxic moist pan watercolor sets designed for students. They were a huge success. Prong watercolors continued to be a stable art supply in classrooms worldwide.
This new availability of artistic materials gave those with a casual interest in art. That means the tools to explore their creative talents. Art had the means to come to the masses, giving birth to many Sunday painters and amateur dabblers, and brought real-world art supplies within the reach of children.
There is now a couple dozen watercolor paint manufacturers for artists to choose from. Each has their own take on formulas, and there's a big difference in the quality of watercolor paints available. The 8-color set that you pick up at the corner drugstore can never match the depth of color and pure brush ability of the finest artist grade tube watercolors. They are a good place to get a little bit of the feel of painting watercolor before you invest your grocery money.
And artists searching their creative roots today will locate the old formulas and techniques to revive the true craft of being an artist. For those wanting to get into the medium, start with cheaper products to practice. Those of us who are not artistic, we can gladly leave the craft of painting to the professionals with some centuries of experience, so we can concentrate on the creation of art in our own ways.
All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, two of our very own will have an art demonstration for you.
My name is Joshua Waldrop. I'm the Director of Bands and Instructor of Music here at Beau Parish Community College. So after high school, I enrolled in BPCC. I got my associate's degree. I went on to pursue my bachelor's and master's. I performed in symphonies across the Arklatex. I've traveled the United States playing in bands, spending time in recording studios. I'm very excited to bring it back to BPCC for you.
I'm Gulia Chandler. I'm a music program director here at Beau Parish Community College. We offer an associate degree in performing arts with concentration in music. And also, we now have a new concentration, which is called music production and technology.
So maybe you're like me and you have a history of concert band and you want to pursue that past high school or jazz band. Maybe you're a singer and you want to be in the choir. Or if you don't want to play your instrument, maybe you want to do sound recording and technology. Whatever it is, we have it for you at BPCC. We have a wonderful performance hall here that seats around 300 that we use throughout the whole school year.
If you're not a music major, you can join a choir or band. You don't have to be a music major. You can study whatever you want, but you can participate in those ensembles. One of the best things about Beau Parish Community College is that we offer music scholarships.
So we have some wonderful opportunities here at BPCC that we'd love for you to take advantage of. Come talk to myself or Dr. Chandler. We'd love to show you what's going on at BPCC.
Welcome back in, everybody.
While we're on the topic of painting, did you know that you can make paintings from coffee?
I've heard of it, but I've never tried it. Abagail and Sarah are going to show us how today.
Hello everyone, I'm Abigail. And I'm Sarah. And today we are going to show you how to make coffee paint. Painting with coffee is a very fun and easy way to make a beautiful picture. Whether you do it with your friends at a sleepover or by yourself on a day off, it is a unique and relaxing activity with a picture you can keep forever.
Coffee painting started around 15 years ago and has been experimented with ever since, changing the different types of flour and water that you use to the different types of coffee. The possibilities on how to make your paint is endless. Today we're going to show you how we like to make our coffee paint.
What do you need to make your coffee paints? A clean area, 3 cups for your paints, a cup to clean your brushes, sketch paper, water, flour, and a bunch of coffee. Today we will make 3 different shades of coffee paint using the same ingredients with different measurements. We'll start with the darkest shade.
First, you get a spoon and a half full of coffee. And then you add 1 spoon of water and mix it together until there's no lumps left. Then you can thicken it using a spoonful of flour.
And then after you mix it all together, you have your finished coffee paint.
One of the greatest things about this paint is that it's not toxic at all because it's coffee. You could even taste it if you want, though it does taste pretty strong. Another plus is it smells great even after the paint dries.
Next up, we will make the medium color paint.
You'll need 1 spoonful of coffee, 1 spoonful of water, and 3 pinches of flour. When you put less flour, it's not as thick, and so it acts almost like watercolors.
Now it's time for our last and lightest shade of coffee paint.
For this one, you get half a spoonful of coffee, one spoonful of water, and a spoonful of flour.
Thank you so much for tuning in today. We had a great time.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.
That was a really good way to use coffee, and not to mention, it smells really good.
So next week, are you going to bring me a painting?
Keep dreaming, but I think I'll give this one to my mom. She really loves coffee.
Well, that's it for us this week. Next week, we'll see you on
What's Happening SBC.